Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
We know XRP and RippleNet set to be the center of a new financial system. This from the architect here. We are being primed for the collapse. It's inevitable. What comes after is the question. Get ready for an event that will change everything. Gas prices will be the least of your worries. But have no fear, guys, because it looks like in the United States, we are getting more crypto clarity. This from James K. Filan. So this has to do with the Biden executive order. For your information regarding the upcoming executive order, which is being signed today, Biden set to announce executive order reviewing cryptocurrencies. And so here are some points that I think are important. The White House is set to release an executive order this week tasking several federal agencies with conducting a broad review of cryptocurrencies, including studying the creation of a U.S. digital currency, according to a person familiar with the matter. The executive order, which the White House is expected to reveal in the coming days, will task the Treasury, Commerce, State and Justice Departments, among other agencies, with studying elements of the fast-growing cryptocurrency market. The agencies will have roughly 3 to 6 months to conduct a review and prepare a public report with recommendations for the federal government's approach to digital tokens. So it looks as though 2022 is going to be a very, very interesting year. Cryptocurrency is a name given to a broad group of digital assets. Okay, so this is just defining what cryptocurrencies are. If you've been sitting under a rock for the last 10 years, they talk a little bit about Bitcoin spiking in value. It's been around for 13 years. Just down here, the White House will ask the Treasury Department to study the creation of a U.S. digital currency, a possibility that the Federal Reserve has already stated to evaluate, while the Justice Department will be tasked with reviewing whether Congress would need to pass new legislation for a central bank digital currency. The person said the other will request the Office of Science and Technology Policy at the White House to look at the technical considerations of considering a U.S. digital currency. The White House executive order will also task the Treasury Department with reviewing the possible risks cryptocurrencies pose to broader financial stability, as well as the illicit finance and national securities risk that the tokens present, according to the person. Under the order, the Treasury Department will work with the SEC and Federal Trade Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission to analyze the risks they pose to consumers. The Biden administration will review the environmental impact of mining cryptocurrencies, a process of generating revenue by using energy-intensive supercomputers to involve complicated puzzles. So that's an interesting point here that would obviously put a check mark in the columns of environmentally friendly cryptocurrencies, XLM, XRP, other ones like Solana, Algorand, so on and so forth. The administration will also look at how cryptocurrencies shape economic competitiveness, as well as how foreign allies approach digital assets, according to the person involved in making this statement. So a lot of very standard stuff, I guess I would say. Many investors, though, were worried that this would have an impact on markets, that this would have an impact on cryptocurrency investing for U.S. investors as a whole. I think ultimately, the president, the government, the IRS, they just want you to pay your taxes. I mean, they're happy for you to trade cryptocurrencies similar to securities, to the stock market or what have you, anything else that one can trade on an open free market. They just want it to be regulated. They do not want a quote-unquote Wild West environment for this kind of thing. And so, in the past, people have gotten away with trading cryptocurrencies and not paying their taxes. Well, they want to put a stop to this. And so, a lot of information here that isn't terribly exciting, but, on the positive side here, it's nothing that is going to necessarily squash innovation in the United States. We are still likely to see innovation come out of Silicon Valley. This is not necessarily tamping down that part of it. So there's the investor side. They talk a little bit about a digital currency, CBDCs. The U.S. is tasking all these organizations with, their directive with regards to crypto standards and how they're going to regulate that. And Matt Corallo posting this. Looks like Yellen's comments on tomorrow's executive order were accidentally posted a day early, and now they are removed. So if you go to the website home.treasury.gov, this is what you see right now. Access is denied. You are not authorized to access this page. However, in this link here, he does go to the web archive. And when you go to the Wayback Machine, You can find the statement here, statement by Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen on President Biden's executive order on digital assets, and it was post-dated to today's date, March 9th. And here's what it has to say. U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen released the following statement. President Biden's historic executive order calls for a coordinated and comprehensive approach to digital asset policy. This approach will support responsible innovation that could result in substantial benefits for the nation, consumers, and businesses. So, right there in one of the first sentences, we're talking about responsible innovation, substantial benefits for the nation, for the U.S., consumers, and businesses. So very pro-American. We were very worried that this would turn out to go the other way, that China or Russia could have the upper hand on the technology side of things, but the U.S. clearly does not want this to happen. It will also address risks related to illicit finance, protecting consumers and investors, and preventing threats to the financial system and broader economy. Guys, it gets more interesting. Listen to this. Under the executive order, Treasury will partner with interagency colleagues to produce a report on the future of money and payment systems. So, this is perhaps where RippleNet and other U.S. payment systems may come in. XLM, for example. It goes on to say we'll also convene with the Financial Stability Oversight Council to evaluate the potential financial stability risks of digital assets and assess whether appropriate safeguards are in place. And because the questions raised by the digital assets often have important cross-border dimensions, we'll work with our international partners to promote robust standards and a level playing field. Her words, not mine. This works to complement ongoing efforts by the Treasury. Already, the department has worked with the President's Working Group on financial markets, the FDIC, and the OCC to study one particular kind of digital asset, stablecoins, and to make recommendations. So, again, some of the focus here on stablecoins. Clearly, those in their mind have to be regulated if they are going to come up with a CBDC, the U.S.'s own governmental retail CBDC, or however they're seeing on utilizing that. Under the executive order, Treasury and interagency partners will build upon the recent published National Risk Assessment, which identified key illicit financial risks associated with digital assets. As we take on this important work, we'll be guided by consumer and investor protection groups, market participants, and other leading experts. Treasury will work to promote a fairer, more inclusive, and more efficient financial system while building on our ongoing work to counter illicit finance and prevent risks to financial stability and national security. So this all sounds good. This all sounds like, exactly what we want to hear. Essentially, cross-border dimensions. The idea that, well, money moves cross-border. Transactions are not just happening within the nation, so there has to be a protocol put in place. I love that she mentions a level playing field. This is one of those buzz terms that Brad Garlinghouse has mentioned throughout the years. RippleNet, for example, creates that level playing field for cross-border transactions. They do not want to stifle innovation, which was also mentioned up here in the third paragraph, I believe, or third sentence. They want to support responsible innovation, exactly what Ripple is and has been doing for the last several years, and that would benefit the nation, customers, and businesses, of course. Also, let's just go back to that Wall Street Journal article when they talk about the environmental impact of mining cryptocurrencies. So clearly they're going to be scrutinizing the proof of work currencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and likely they will favor cryptocurrencies that have less of a carbon footprint, like XRP, like XLM, essentially the cryptocurrencies that solve problems. This all fits within the framework from the US Department of the Treasury, guys. And so, just to pull it all together, BondCrypt XRP posting this, cryptocurrencies to grow as a store of value. Now, this is coming out of Singapore. This is Ripple partner DBS Holdings. This is coming from Piyush Gupta, the CEO of DBS, which is a Ripple partner bank in Singapore. And here's what he has to say. Singapore-based DBS Holdings Group Limited Chief Executive Officer Piyush Gupta thinks that private digital coins like Bitcoin will continue to grow as a meaningful store of value. Now, he's saying like Bitcoin. I'm going to expand on that and say no, the cryptocurrencies that solve problems. And now that we have the inside scoop, the statement from Janet Yellen from yesterday, I think we can get a better sense of what that will mean. He goes on to say, nonetheless, it's unlikely that cryptocurrencies will take over the role of state-backed money. I also expect that regulators and politicians will be loath to give up control of the monetary policy and economic management tools and will therefore be very circumspect about letting private money grow. So the idea that, no, we cannot have private money, we still do need to hold on to control of the money of the day, which is the US greenback, if you are American and or if you do trade around the world. Having said this, I do think that private money or crypto will continue to grow as a meaningful store of value, much like gold is today. Let me go down here. The global bank's chief does not see privately issued digital money taking over the role of state-backed money. The reason for this is that money needs to have 3 attributes. Now listen to what these 3 attributes are, guys, and we'll talk about it in a second. Be a unit of account, a medium of exchange, and a store of value. Privately issued coins find it hard to attain the first 2 of these. Okay, and then over here, as reasons include a lack of ubiquity, absence of faith in the issuer, and large volatility in value, among others. But if we think about this for a second and we put it into perspective, focusing on XRP specifically, if it is to be central to a new and emerging financial system, it would certainly not lack ubiquity. There would also be faith centered around said cryptocurrency and, well, the volatility, if it did indeed command a high enough price at that point in time, once there is network utility and once buyers and sellers are happy to pay that said price for transactional value, that would be the last thing. XRP would be less volatile than other cryptocurrencies.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.